The train brought us to Bundi one quiet morning. Jayanto and I had long been friends, classmates, companions, though our professions had taken us in different directions. He worked in a newspaper, I taught in a school. Yet here we were, traveling together after years to a place that seemed forgotten by time. It was Jayanto who insisted on Bundi. Most travelers went to Jaipur or Udaipur, but his heart pulled him here. His father's work had once brought him as a child, and he had long wished to return. As we arrived at the circuit house, I noticed how silent Jayanto had grown. The bungalow itself was splendid, built by the British, with tiled roof, high ceilings, and skylights dangling on ropes. The garden was vast, full of roses in bloom, parrots chattering in the trees, and the calls of peacocks were drifting from beyond the compound. We settled in. Servants brought us tea and biscuits, and we sat in cane chairs. Jayanto touched the furniture, as though recognizing old companions. "These chairs," he murmured. As a child, they seemed like thrones. Soon, memories came back to him in fragments. He spoke of his father smoking cheroots, his mother knitting, the magazines on the table. Then, slowly, he spoke of something else. He told me of a doll, not the kind children usually play with, but a 12-inch figure of an old Swiss man, bought in a European village by his uncle. It was dressed in traditional Swiss clothes, complete with tiny buckles, feathered cap, and a smile fixed forever on its porcelain face. "They called him Fritz," Jayanto said. "Once I had Fritz, I forgot all other toys. I talked to him for hours. Sometimes I even felt he understood me. His eyes grew distant. He was alive to me. I listened patiently, though with mild amusement, but Jayanto's face turned grave. Fritz was destroyed here, in Bundi," he whispered. He told me the tale. One day, while having tea in the garden, Jayanto had left Fritz by his side. Stray dogs pounced. By the time he returned, Fritz's face was battered beyond recognition, his clothes torn. Heartbroken, the boy had buried him under the deodar tree in the compound. "I wanted a coffin," he admitted. "After all, Fritz was European, but I found none. I buried him just like that." That night, Jayanto could not sleep. He woke twice, trembling. "Something walked across my chest," he said, his eyes anxious in the lamplight. 2 feet, not 4. Later, he showed me small brown marks on his quilt. I dismissed them as stains, perhaps old, but Jayanto's unease only grew. The next day, we went sightseeing at the fort of Bundi. Jayanto tried to enjoy it, recalling details from childhood, but his enthusiasm faded. By the time we returned to the circuit house, he was restless, his hands trembling. Finally, he said, "Fritz came into our room last night. The marks on the quilt, they were his footprints." I tried to soothe him, to reason with him, but he remained pale and silent. At last, I proposed an idea. If Fritz was buried here, why not dig under the deodar tree? If anything remains, it will only be buttons or buckles. That will end this once and for all. Jayanto agreed, though reluctantly. I called the gardener, bribed him to help, and together we went to the far end of the garden. Jayanto pointed with a trembling hand. "Here," he whispered. "I buried him here." The spade struck soil. The gardener dug deeper, joking of hidden treasure. I tried to laugh, but Jayanto stood rigid, sweat darkening his collar, despite the cool October air. His eyes never left the pit. Then came the moment. The gardener's spade struck something. He bent lower, brushed away the earth. Jayanto gave a strange cry, pointing with a trembling finger. I leaned over, and my breath froze. There, lying flat on its back, covered in dust, was a tiny human skeleton, 12 inches long, pure white. Perfect. And in that silence, beneath the ancient deodar, I felt it too, the presence of Fritz.